Okay, he's gone. No, never mind.
Yeah, I think we should start. That's right.
I think, yeah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Muhammad Azam. I am a fourth year medical student at the Heber Medical College, and I happen to be the host of this podcast, the MBO Talk. Today, I've got a very special guest, Dr. Owais Manan. He is a KMC graduate of the year 2022, I suppose, and he recently matched into the US in the internal medicine. We're going to have a conversation with him about his medical school life, about a lot of things. We'll try to cover some of the most important topics that we can cover in 1 hour, and I suppose 1 hour is very less, but we're gonna try to bring out whatever we can bring out from him. That's why thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Azam, for inviting me to this podcast and giving me a platform to share the things and tips and whatever the experience that I had with you guys. So it's a pleasure talking to everyone, to the audience. Let's begin.
Yeah. How do you generally introduce yourself when you meet someone professionally these days?
Professional.
Yeah.
For the ERAS interview, for everyone, I would say work hard on the interview skills because we would be like practicing a lot on them. But I think it's all about like just staying calm. Like, okay, you in your mind, professionally, you have to think that I'm not speaking to a program director. Oh my God, because that will give you more anxiety. Just think that okay, he's a human being like me, and it's just an interview. I have come prepared. Stay calm no matter how much your heart is like fluttering and everything, but you got to stay calm and got to have that genuine smile in front of them, like okay, I'm here, I'm excited. They can see that flash in your eyes that okay, this guy is like genuinely excited to be here. He's not like like a robotic, my name is this, my name. No, he's like genuinely there. So I think that's how I took the interviews at least, uh, and that worked. So
Makes sense. Tell us a little bit about your early life. I want to know where did you do your schooling and then your FSC and then how did you get into medical school? Very briefly.
yeah, so basically, I studied at Army Public School, Peshawar, in which the attack happened. Um, and then I went to Islamia College, Peshawar. And after that, I went to Khyber Medical College. I studied there from 2016 to 2022. And in Khyber Medical College, I served in different literary roles. For example, chairperson of activity section and associate literary secretary. And apart from that, I was also a part of many other social groups. For example, help us to help others. So yes, that's about it. I think a brief intro.
Yeah. In the medical college, you were part of the literary society and you were an active part in the extracurriculars. Um, how was your experience in that? Because oftentimes people generally have this idea and this notion that people who match into the US, they are very studious and they are not they're not into the extracurriculars and they're not as fun. So what kind of student were you back then?
Honestly, I was like a very solid backbencher all the time, and a guy who does not come to classes. He's just seen on the stage, and then he's off the classes. So I was not a good student, I would say, in at least in my medical school. But I knew one thing, that somewhere along the line I would be going USMLE. I knew that from a very young age, like at a very young. So that's why I didn't take the Pakistani thing seriously. And for the literary, I would say it really helped me a lot. I must say, because uh, it gives you that edge. For example, program director has like 1000 or 2000 applications, everyone is like 260 plus in step 2, how would he differentiate which one to pick? Everyone has 10 publications, 10 everything, rotations. I mean, what's the difference point between them? Now, that's where the extra edge comes in. And that's where the extra thing come in, because I was in front of like thousands of people in stage, and I used to be a performer. Many of the new juniors don't know, but in back in like our day, 2018, 19, like we and my other fellows, we were like always on the stage, and we would just carry the whole literary society with us. So when you have this confidence, and when the program director is speaking to you, or when you are among the other peers, you are just naturally more bold as compared to the other toppers, right? Because I've seen people, despite getting interviews, scoring 270, but because of their interview skills, they like did not manage to get a job, and they just like, I think it helps a lot,
Yeah,
genuinely. And I would love to deep dive into it later down this podcast as
I
well.
would like to hear it right now. Like, how did those activities help you in the long run? What are the some of the other things that you felt like, say, I have done that, and because of that, it has helped me right now? Or, it can be in the
Okay.
interviews or any other areas which you feel like it helped me.
Okay, so let's start from this. So basically my story was personally that I was a literary secretary, and I was in literary society. So when I came here to US, I had this natural instinct to connect to people. So for example, I'm rotating with an attending. I would know what to speak, what not to speak, how to get a good LOR from him, because that is the ultimate goal of each and everyone who is attending here, like doing their rotations, is to get a good LOR. So when you know from your previous experiences how to communicate with other people, right? That you can get a good LOR from other people. From my Cleveland rotation in September, I got two LORs just because I just went there. I was confident. I was like, sir, I did this rotation with you. And to another, I just spent like 4 days with him, and I just asked him, like, okay, let's shoot my shot. If I miss, maybe if I get it, I get it. I even tried for the third LOR, so, but it didn't happen. But at least I got two. So that's the thing that, it really helps you. And for me, I had this startup, Helix. That was a like healthcare startup. Many of the juniors, like, uh, unfortunately, think like this, especially the KMC juniors. That okay, like I've heard these rumors that okay, Owais by matched just because like he had connections and he had just 228 score. I just want to break this myth right now. Like I had 246 on step two and 228 on step three, and seven interviews, and seven interviews, and out of them I would say two of them came from like connections, and five of them were like either from signals or either from my own like CV did the job. So the reason that I'm saying all this is to like, if you just say that okay, it's all about connections, then it's wrong. And if you say no, it's pure heart, then it's also wrong. It's like somewhere in the middle, right? For me, what worked was my startup. So I had done this startup back in COVID. In COVID, I was free. Everyone was free. Everyone was like, let's play PUBG and everything. I was like, okay, I should do something. And so me and I discussed an idea with my father that okay, we can make an application or something, to connect patients to healthcare providers and nurses. So we started on this project called Helix. Helix basically stands for Heal and Relax. And through that project, it's we start. I talked to one of my friends from school. So we built a platform, a website, and we then launched a campaign. We designed logo. We got into National Incubation Center for 6 months. That is a center in Peshawar, NIC Peshawar. I don't know, guys from Peshawar will know that. But I was there for 6 months, and then I was in Durshal for 6 months. I used to go to the wards in the morning and then go back to the Durshal in the afternoon in my final year. So that was like a 2 3 years of work. And at that time, I say that with humbleness that through my initiative or through our initiative, we were able to serve people. We were able to save lives, despite I was a medical student. But in the terms of connecting nurses, sending oxygen cylinders to people. I've done that. And so I had done this part. The website was gone. So I didn't like, after, I would say, when I started my steps journey, I kind of sidelined my startup thing, right? Last year, I think it was last year. I in the I would say in the Ramadan time, there was a senior called, his name is Arsalan, and I was discussing myself, like what to do, Arsalan, by my, my match is coming up. I want to apply and everything. So he's like, okay. I just out of curiosity, I mentioned that, okay, I don't know, Arsalan, but I have this startup thing. Maybe it works, it not works, but I don't know if I should even put it in my CV. He was like, you have a startup? I was like, yeah. He's like, man, you need to hit this point right now because this is your unique selling point. And now I have to tell you, everyone. Like, he was like, okay, make this mountain out of a mole. So I based all my personal statement, all my CV on this experience. That, okay, I have this thing. Now I understand not every junior is going to have a startup. I don't expect anyone like, okay, you need to have a startup or any like big ideas or anything. No. Find something that makes you unique. Anything that makes you unique. That will give you a huge edge. I'm telling you guys. Because as I said, everyone has 260. Everyone has nowadays 8, 10 publications, 3 good rotations, good LORs. That's it. What sets you apart? How will you tell the program director that, okay, if the about the 6,000 applications that you got, I am the one that you need to go for. So as I mentioned, 2 of my interviews come from connections. The 5 ones come randomly just because of this unique selling point. And one of them was Wellstar, Georgia, that I did not even like signaled. So, it's something that worked for me in that aspect. And I think that obviously correlates to my history back in literary society. That I was since bold there, I was able to do startup, and then I carried my startup and to the interview and convinced the program director that, okay, I've got the guts.
I, I get that. Going back to the medical school, what are
Uh-huh.
some of the lessons you learned in medical school? Generally, because we all have different stories, we all come from different backgrounds, we all have different ambitions and goals towards our future, but we always learn something along the way if we introspect.
I mean, yes, there is like, I would say, I'm a huge believer of energies. So, energies, and let me explain it a bit. That if you like, the people you surround with have a really big impact on where you go. Initially, in the starting phase of my life, in medical school, I was surrounded by the people that were not like, very sincere to my like very sincere to me, and I think that really broke my confidence, because they would always like indirectly poke your confidence down. And later I find some good friends in the med school. And the thing that I learned about is, for everyone who is listening to me, as I said, I was an average student, and I was not a gold medalist. I'm not a topper by any chance, by any means. The only thing I have is, I think positive. Simple. Literally, like, this is my, like, I would say, uh during all this journey, if I have learned something, is think and stay positive. Cut out the bad songs, cut out the sad songs. You don't need to listen to the sad songs. You don't need to listen to Arjit Singh. You don't need to listen. If anyone is listening to, for any reason, cut that thing out. If anyone in your circle is saying, oh, this person scored 220, step 2 is getting difficult. Oh, no one is matching. This, anything that kind of creates a doubt in your mind, that blurs your clarity, just try to distance yourself from that person. It's a hard journey. It's not easy. Through my journey, I had to sacrifice people. I had to sacrifice connection with people, because I cannot like be on the same wavelength as they are, right? Like, for example, after my medical school, I did not do house job. that was like going against the current. Everyone was telling you like, okay, do house job, do house job, do house job. And I was like, no, I don't want to do house job. And the reason is very simple for me, because for me, I don't know, I just felt like it's not like halal ke when there are patients waiting for you and you are back in the library. You know what I'm saying.
Yes,
And it does not make sense to me. So and I talked to my father and he was like, okay, focus on exams, it's okay. But still, when you are jobless and everyone around you is earning, that creates a peer pressure on you, right?
that's
And
right.
at that time, the only source of your power and strength is being staying positive. No, it is going to work out, and then gradually you pick up from this step one, and then gradually you push yourself to step two, and then step three, and then match and interview and everything else.
Yeah, I get that.
So that was the biggest lesson. Surround yourself with people who are on the same mission or on the same positive wavelength.
Yeah. Back in the med school, you must have given importance to certain things. And then later in life, you realize that I shouldn't have given importance to these things and I could have given importance to these things, for example. Do you have something in mind?
uh yeah, I think I would say choosing your mentor is very like important from the very start. Choose your mentor wisely. For example, if it's I would say, I mean, I'm happy at where I am, and if the previous things hadn't happened like this, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. But like, I would say I could have started the USMLE journey a bit earlier, if I had not wasted too much time on the stage, I would say, because we wasted a lot of time there. Because, and I mean, at that time it was score step one. So that was, we were like, okay, we will delay it, we'll do it normally and everything. But they were junior ahead of us. So I think that would be it. But I mean, it is what it is. So
Yeah, I understand.
no regrets. Yeah.
I get that. I get that. And that just comes from your positive outlook on your life because you're like, "Bas osho no osho. Let's just move on with life."
Usually, if like, see, the thing is, to everyone, if I'm at this moment happy with this right now, that I'm breathing here, I'm in America and everything happened, and for example, you guys are in whichever state of your life is, it means that whatever happened, the good or the bad, happened for a good reason. Then, otherwise, I wouldn't be here. If it was like 1 second, therefore, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. And then there is also this destination addiction. Like we have this thing in mind that we want to reach here, and then we reach here, it just gets normal for us, and then we kind of aim at something else. So
Yeah.
wherever you are right now, is it like the pinnacle of the mountain, or is there another mountain to climb?
It's very funny, and I think yesterday I shared a story that uh, life, there is no fixed destination. It's about the journey.
Yeah, I saw that.
And when I was starting on my USMLE journey, I used to think like, okay, there will be a day I will clear step one, step two, step three, and I will get match. This dream and everything. And but I don't know, somewhere along the line, I got content with life. Literally, I'm not. It is what it is. I think this journey is very humbling. Like, USMLE is a very, very humbling journey. It humbles you in ways that you won't expect. And uh it's a different journey. But the thing is, there is no like, I realize this, that okay, for example, you clear step two, then there will be like match problems, right? And then you're like, okay, I did step two, now I have to prepare for step three. If you did step three, then you will have to prepare for interview. And if you did the interviews, then you have to prepare for the match, getting matched. And then if matched, then I mean, there is a bunch of stuff going on all the way. Even if I landed here, now we have an IT coming in, we have other thing coming in. So it life does not stop anywhere, right? Like, it's you have to be happy at what you are doing right now, and you have to be focused on what you are doing right now. If, for example, like मतलब जो हो रहा है बस, take it day by day.
Yeah, I understand.
That would be my message. Take
Yeah,
it day by day.
yeah. And do you think people kind of underestimated you just because you were not the typical studious type of guy? And
I
how
mean,
did you deal
it's
with that?
you know my mom used to say this one thing, okay, but I would say in Pashto, I don't know if people understand it, कि बच्चियाँ दुनिया पर अकल न चलेगी, दुनिया पर अकल न चलेगी, and that in English translate to is that the world doesn't work by mind, and if anyone, I don't know, if wants to get this thing ahead, like I always used to be, if you ask from any of our toppers, I used to be like the chill guy, the happy guy. I would be like, okay, let's do this, let's do that, and no one expected me to
Mhm.
land here, and that is why they expect that it's because maybe my brother, that he pulled the strings in US and then he got the job. But again, I got 7 interviews. I had the choice to rank any other program, and my interviews really went well. So the thing is, uh, for me, I've learned this along the line that life doesn't work. It works by like staying sincere, staying positive, and just trying to help whoever you can. With no bad intentions, with no like, okay, let's do it together. Let's do it together. And this one, I think that worked for me as well. So yeah, I was the underdog for sure,
You were the
for sure.
underdog, but at the same time you were privileged as well in some ways. What were some of the areas where you were privileged and which helped you kind of get into the thing easily?
Exactly. So I would say this is a very good question. There was this book called The Unfair Advantage. It's a very good book. The core concept is everyone in life has something that they are ahead in their lives. Either it's money, either it's voice, either it's face, either it's confidence, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Bank on that thing and you will get ahead. For me, the I think the good point was that comparatively to average people, I would say I had a support of my father financially, so I was good in that department. And I had my brother as a guidance because he had already been through USMLE and he was in US, so that was a big plus. But again, I have to say this out loud to everyone. It's not just about connections because we have this junior, I wouldn't name him, but he had 270. He had brother here doing fellowship, connected to everyone. He did not match. He matched this year, but not last year. The
Yes,
only reason is it's not just about connections. It's also about how you do how you narrate your story in personal statement, how you do convince the program directors, not just in the CV but also in the interview, that you showcase yourself, that okay, you should take me, I am the one, you can trust me, and you have to convince them. That's I think works.
I understand. You also spoke about your startup, Helix,
Yeah.
and it was a startup. You talked about that, but it must have taught you certain things, as in like taking the initiative or being leader. It must have taught you things about yourself that you didn't know, because I have done a few things in my life, and when you take the lead, when you take the initiative, when you are in the leading position, you get to learn so much about your own self and the people around you. So what was something that you learned from your startup?
The best thing, I think, was thinking out of the box, because as a startup or as an entrepreneur, you have to come up with solutions. You have to think differently, you have to be very out of the box thinking. And let me tell you how it translated to the successful journey, right? I was doing my rotation at University of Alabama Birmingham, UAB, with a cardiologist, right? Now, I saw that the cardiologist and the fellows used to use paper and pen for drawing the heart to understand like echocardiography planes, right? But it's in 2D, right? I was like, okay, they are doing like they're always discussing the echocardiography plane, for example, this plane and this plane just on paper, and they cannot see it properly. I thought there must be a better way for this. So I was just strolling around the area, and there was this library in which I found that they had 3D printers. I went there and I asked them that, okay, can I 3D print a heart here? And they were like, yeah, why not? It's under the university of like university covers that. And I told them that I'm a part of the university as for this month. They guide me through the process. I 3D printed 2 hearts the other day. Like the next day, I went to my attending and I presented a 3D heart model to him and to the fellows. And I told them that, sir, you can use this as for more teaching. He was really impressed by it, and that's how he write a very good LOR to me. So that's what I'm saying. Like if the if, the reason, like for me at least, all the toppers that I know from my class haven't matched. Seriously, that have not matched. They have great scores than me. They have absolutely. One of them had cleared step 2 in final year. He has not matched. That's what I'm saying. You gotta think differently. You have to be smart about it. Like, I knew it that okay, I don't have great score, I don't have this, these are my weak points and these are my positive points. Analyze yourself in your own situation, and then think that okay, if this is my positive point, let's hammer this point. I told them in interview, what they ask usually this question, what are your positive points? I told them that, sir, I'm an out of the box thinker. And he was like, how? I told them that I 3D printed, I did this, the 3D printing stuff, I did helix, this. And if there's any problem in residency program, I would be more than willing to come here and solve that problem, because I've got this mind to create solutions.
Yeah,
And they were happy about it. So
that makes a lot of sense. And what are you now currently focusing on in the future? What specialty interests you? I want to know more about that because you are in internal medicine now, but you must have a specific system in your head.
I mean, I'm thinking more of like the hospitalist route right
Uh-huh.
now, because it gives you like the pleasure to work-life balance. And for me, who is also like looking at the side gigs and everything, that okay, jump into, for example, crypto or stocks or whatever it is, get the finances back on track and everything. So I'm more of like thinking on that aspect, but again, I'm not fully like locked in on the hospitalist. I'm still like considering uh, rheumatology, endocrinology, and perhaps hemonc.
Okay, so these three are the
So
specialties. And
yes, I mean it's too early for me. It's just like 3 weeks right now in my
I
program,
understand, I
so
understand, but still,
it's very early.
yeah, it must be really like you spend some time over there and you then realize what track you would like to take. But like then
Exactly.
again, we generally have a mindset from medical school as well, a specific specialty interests us. So what is that for
I
you?
mean, I'm not one of them.
Okay, so
My
you're
goal
just
is
open.
like open. My goal is that by the end of training, I should be the attending that can work flawlessly and quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
That's my goal. Like I have said that at least I should be best in my internal medicine, if not anything else.
And what are some of the
That's
other
like,
things that you have planned for yourself in the coming 3 years as an internal medicine resident?
I think we have this thing called ITE. So I think a good score in ITE helps a lot while you're in the program. Everyone kind of
IT.
respects you. IT is basically, to everyone who doesn't know, is basically an in training exam, and it's not a scored exam, like not a digit exam, but it's something done in percentiles. So for example, 50th percentile, 30th percentile, 80 percentile, and things like that. So if you're like above 50 and if you're near to the 80, that's really good. You like the program director would be really happy from you. Like but if you're like less than 30, then they will create problems for you. You just become more spot highlight. So my goal is to like at least stay in the safe range of ITE, get good training, uh, uh, and down the road, like teach start teaching students as well, because the more you teach people, the more you learn.
How do you teach?
And also I'm
What is
thinking
your
about.
plan to teach? Like how
Mhm.
do you teach? Online?
Exactly. So we have these university students always coming in, and they usually join us. So my plan is like to teach them as much as possible, because when you want to teach, you have to first learn it very well. And as one of our seniors says, that to teach is to learn twice. So that is one of my goal, to get good at this thing at least. Uh, I mean, that's about it. And yes, I am planning to start like a TikTok slash YouTube journey if I get time. And it's not to, showcase anything, but it's just because like I feel like with all the negativity that's surrounded in Pakistan, I just want to show the positive side that okay, your life can turn into this. Because I'm thinking actively. I just created a TikTok yesterday. I had not had a TikTok, so that's kind of because. Um, there are many things that, for example, any tips, any questions, I can be more get in touch with you guys, with the juniors, in the video section. For example, if any question that they ask from me and I make a video on them, other juniors can benefit from it as well. And I will share that link with the TikTok as well for you, with you guys. So whoever want to follow that link, make sure that you guys follow, and I will try my best to manage, time to time videos and everything, just to stay more connected. So that's the plan, that at least in these coming 3 years, I become like socially more active,
Were you
either
like
it's on
inactive in the
YouTube.
previous years?
I mean, USMLE is not something that allows you to be very active, honestly. Like, USMLE is a hard journey. It's doable journey, but it's, as I said, it's a journey of sacrifices. You have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice, and you have to stay positive. No other way. I mean, there are many instances in which if I tell you, you'll be like, it's like they were like brink of, you were like in the brink of, I would say, a well, and you were like surrounded by everything going bad, but the only thing is like going up and seeing that light, that okay, I might make it.
I
But
want to know some of
I made
the I want to know some of the dark spots that you
stories.
hit in. Like I want to know
I
some of
mean,
the dark spots
see,
that you hit in your
yeah.
journey.
So yeah, I mean, when I was studying for step one, I started studying for step one. I did not know how to do
And
step,
I'm
like
sorry, I wanted to
how do you
ask you
prepare.
something else. When did you actually start
Uh-huh.
your preparation properly?
Yes, I started my preparation, like officially after 2022.
So when you graduated,
2020. Yes, I graduated, and at that time, as I said, I did not do house job, so I went with my father's clinic, and I would just get the experience in and side by side study. But I did not realize the gravity of step one, and like I studied well for like 6 to 8 months, and it was like, let's do USA UWSA one, and the first exam that I gave was 156, and my exam was in 2 months. So that was like a very tough situation for me, and I realized that okay, now I know what kind of beast I'm dealing with, because up till that point I was taking it like, okay, I know the questions and everything. But steps is a journey of like, you have to master each and everything that is like in first state, for example, for step one purposes. Like, you have to know every line, and not just understand, but like memorize it. And that was something that I had to come up with. Like, later down the road, I realized that okay, if I had known this, that it's all about like, you have to really have a good rata. Because if you have a good rata on step one, that kind of helps you in step two, and then that translates to step three, and then translates to the further exams, ABIM, IT, and everything. So that was one thing. And when I distinctly remember when I had this 156, and my exam was in 2 months, and I just kept looking at this like ceiling, and I was uh, like on the bed for 3 hours. I'm not kidding, because you have this shock that okay, you are against running the flow. You did not accept job. I was offered job at HMC. I declined, and here you are, you're not getting the score that you attempted. You make it, will you not make it? You guys will be faced with this situation. But I'm telling you guys, the only way that uh, you guys make it out is just focusing on what you have power on it. Like, I was like, okay, I'm in trench, I'm in a bad position right now. 156 is my USA1 score. I'm This is not a passing score for sure.
yeah.
What can I do from this position? What can I focus from this position to gradually move up? Okay. Then I started, okay, I need to start memorizing. So I focused on like, okay, my concepts are good, but it's the memorization part. So I focused on memorization. In the next 2 months, I was like locked in on the memorization part, and then I passed on the step one. Now I will tell you the story about step two. Step two, in my time, I studied step two. I took last year in, I believe, June. Yeah, I took it in June, and at that time, apparently the Nepal scandal came in. If you guys remember about step two, the cheating scandal,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
at that was the time that I gave it in a time when it was very difficult to even, people would use those, like the USMLE had changed their, the way the questions were presented very differently. So people were not getting good scores. It was like just in the start of year, people were not getting good scores. And like everyone would come to me in library. I used to sit in PGMI. Oh, do you remember Owais? Do you know? Oh, the other guy used to score 70% plus in NBMs. Now he has got to 220. Like, I don't know. Like, I would be like, why are you telling me this? You know that my exam is already scheduled. My flight is booked. My rotations are booked. I mean, I don't have any way out of it. Either I make it, either I don't make it. And there was this one instance, like the last NBME that I gave was 14 NBME 10 days before. My target score was 250. And can you guess how much I got 10 days before the exam? 232.
mm,
Now that is a like 18 points difference from what you want to be, right? And that really had me panicked. I called the senior. You have to have a good mentor, by the way. But I called him, that okay, this is my score. And he's like, what's your average right now? I'm like, I am the other NBMEs. I have been touching 240s. It's just this NBME 10 days before I've dropped 8 points. He was like, don't worry. If you have made it this far, in Pashto, they say like, don't move. This is the time that you do it. And at that time I realized that okay, if you guys are in any of this situation, this thing works. So for me, I was like, what can I do in these 10 days that can significantly increase my chances of getting good score? I did this thing that the NBMEs that I have given previously, I started revising them quickly. Like, for example, 2 days, like 2 3 NBMEs in single day. And that gives you like a quick, because step 2 is really broad. Step 2 is really, really broad. And that gives you a very quick summary of, whatever it is that you want to learn and keep in your mind in the last 10 days. So I would just quickly passively read through, okay, this, I know this point, because with each question you revise 5 topics. Now NBMEs has 200 questions. That means like you're revising 1000 topics just before your exam per NBME. Now you do the math, like 5000 topics. So that I focused on my inner circle a lot on my step 2. And 5 days later, I booked my, I tried to give my USA 2, right? I did one block, I did second block. At the second block, I realized, I did the third block, and I realized that okay, today is like Jummah, and I have to be there at the prayers. I have to stop it in the middle, because like the fourth block I will give it after Jummah prayers. Now this is a very interesting story, and I want everyone to listen to that. What happened was, I tried to go to the Jummah prayers, but apparently that Jummah prayers had already done the Jummah like 1:15 or anything. And I was like, I need to reach to the Jummah prayer. So, and there was this mosque in phase 6 in Hyderabad that was like 2 p.m. I said, okay, let's go there. Just as I'm moving to the Jummah prayers, just around Zurguni Mosque, my tire flats out. It's June, July, heat. It's my tires punctured. 5 days later, I have exam. All my tickets are booked. I have no way out of it. The last NBME was 232. I'm banking on any sort of way that I make it USA to at least 250 to have a good morale. Now my tires flats out, and I exit the vehicle, and I'm like, for a moment I just stood there. Wallahi, I started laughing. My hands were like, black like this. And I was like, and I just looked up and I just started laughing. Because when you think about that, okay, 2 3 years of sacrifice, and you spend so much time, and now it's all dependent on this one user two to have a good morale. And now I'm here right now. And just when I started laughing, and I was like, if it's from you, God, I'm happy. If it's from you, God, I'm happy. Wallahi, our driver came in, taxi driver. He comes in, he stops, and he fixes the tire quickly. And I had 5 minutes to run from Zarghuni to Ibrahimi Mosque in phase 6. I prayed there. I reached to the Juma prayers. I prayed with like when you change the tires, the men would know that our hands really get black kind of. So with charcoal on my hand, I prayed. I still have the picture with me, and at that time I was like, God, please help me. I need your help. I've been here. I have suffered. I have gone along a different path, and just help me out here. And I trust you that you will. And I even wrote a message that there will be someday you will be reading the same picture from America, and you will. I have the picture in my Snapchat that I wrote right there in the mosque that there will be some, and you will be thanking yourself that okay, you made it. So long story, I went back, did my fourth block. 254 was my USA 2 score. I was good to go. I was like, okay, now I have at least this confidence that either it's going to be +5, -5, +10, -10. I don't care. I'm in a safe range. I went there, did my step two, came here to the US, did my rotations, and then I hear like, so moral of the story. Moral of the story is there are going to be situations when you are like, what else to do? The only one is that Three Idiots thing, all is well. Like
Yeah,
just stay, I don't know, like stay happy, like okay, and be like so solid in your mindset that you are going to make it, that you start laughing on the situations themselves.
yeah, I understand that.
Literally, this is what I learned. This is what I learned at
It's like
least.
the
That I was
absurdity.
happy and certainty. Like I had already envisioned in my mind that I'm going to be there in one way or another way. I don't know how, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, I understand that. People also ask that in the medical school life, there are certain distractions, and we have to kind of prioritize certain things that can be like your academics, your relationships, your friendships, and then your family, and then your hobbies as well. How did you tackle your distractions, and how did you particularly take care of your relationships, like
Uh,
relationships and the friendships part, because
that,
because we have to
that's a
kind of
very,
give,
I think.
yeah, we have to give time to
Mhm.
certain things. If we kind of miss out on something, the other things get disturbed in a way. So how did you actually give time to certain boxes in your life that were
Yeah.
important to you?
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I had to sacrifice people, and obviously there are parts of your life and when you're in relationship, but it's when the person is right, but you are not in that place of life financially or whatever it is that you want to be, and you understand that okay, that other person, whoever it is also running out of time because of rishta and everything, and you are also like not right there to do anything. So certain times you have to let go, because if that person cannot wait for you, then it means he's not the one for you. That I would say in relationship wise. And if again, it's more of like know your worth. I knew my worth, honestly. I knew my worth from a very long time, and it's very important as well, because uh, when the everyone was telling me that okay, house job is doing and everything, you're skipping out on a house job. I realized that if I cleared steps exam and if I matched, instantly my value would be around 15 crores. And let me explain it quickly because the time is also running out. How? Because average American student spends $300,000 to $450,000 to do the med schooling. So if you matched and he matched, you're on the same level. You get what I'm saying? You get the same level of importance in 190 countries as they are getting. So I knew it very behind that 60,000 rupees per month is not going to change my life, and that is why I prioritize. So to you guys, prioritize prioritize the long term vision, what you want to do. And now, Alhamdulillah, I think I earn uh, how job salary in one day. I think if you translate it, like it's $200, I think. And I'm not boasting here, I'm just saying that if you believe in it, if you think that okay, you deserve better, in either it's in a relationship, either it's in career. It might not be USMLE, it might be something else. If you think you can make it out there, follow your heart, be positive, surround yourself with positive people, stay. Even if you're listening to good songs, at least listen to, like, if you're listening to songs, at least listen to good songs. Manifest, try to manifest good things for yourself, stay positive, and that's about it. I mean, just reality, envision that thing daily, that either it's in prayers, either it's in namaz and everything. Try to envision that you're already living that life in
Yeah,
one way or another way, and it will happen in one way or
understand.
another way.
Understand. Beautiful. From the audience, if anybody has got any particular questions to ask Dr. Owais, they are welcome to type in, or they can turn on their mics so they can ask the questions. We'll take 1 minute of break just to calm down a little bit. Owais can have some water, maybe.
I mean, I just had this coffee here, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm good. Yeah, everyone is welcome to ask questions, and be confident, because whoever wants to ask questions, please be very confident, because if you are on the USMLE journey, you will be faced in these kind of meetings a lot, either during interview prep and everything. From which year we should start research and step preparation? Okay, so I think we got the first question about the step preparation and the research part. Uh, I would say if you plan things as early as possible, the better it is. Especially with modular system. Unfortunately, we did not have modular system back in our day. Like we would have these anatomy in first year, you know, pharmacology in third year, and this. It was really a hustle to go back to the USMLE system. You guys are lucky that you have this modular system in which you can like study step one and it's pass fail. You guys can clear step one very early. The main goal should be that at least get done with step one before final year. About the research part, I would say you can start working on research side by side with people, but I mean, you can like, I'm not very much like a very research type guy, honestly. So I had like here and there people, but yeah, if you can find someone in your class who is like, he's doing good research, he's good at research, just attach with him and just tell him that, okay, I want to do research with you, just let me know what you want me to do. Even if you don't understand the basics of research, at least you can put your name in some research, just to fill out the CV and everything.
Assalamu alaikum, Azam bhai. Sorry, Aves
Wa-
bhai.
Walaikum
Both,
salam, what's up?
both. So my question is basically like it is related to your startup. As you told that your startup made you different from other people. So can you tell us some ideas that like startup के अलावा भी कोई ideas हो ताकि कोई medical organization हो जो हमें different वो कर सके जैसे हम उस पे like as a third student अभी से हम किस चीज पर इस तरह फोकस कर ले ताकि वो बाद में हमें different वो कर ले like कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हो या इस तरह जिस तरह आपने एक स्टार्टअप शुरू किया था
Yes,
इस तरह
I got the point of Bakr. So basically, the thing is कि one of my senior Aslan bhai, he did what, वो गए थे research के लिए कहीं वजीरिस्तान के border पे उन्होंने research की थी, and he just collected samples from people over there for some purpose. I'm not sure about the exact details, but the way he put it in front of program director was कि I went into a very uh, uh, security compromise, challenging tribal areas, and we collected 200 plus samples from those areas. And despite the security concerns, I was able to do this ABC, and we were there for 7 days. This. So he constructed his story around that. How can you do it now? You can do it. Just go do join some medical camp and start putting that in glamorous words in front of program director, either in your personal statement or either in your CV. That kind of gives an impact that, okay, you are willing to go extra mile for the patients. So that's like a medical camp or a research. For example, we have these organizations, blood heroes. One of our classmate made the blood heroes organization. So you can join these organization. You can create anything, but I would say anything that involves like community. Like for example, in Helix, I also did community immunization things. I would go to I went to the Hangu area. That was like area I did campaigns with the local DHQs. And I went there to make sure that we covered some areas in parts of immunization because people have no idea about what immunization is even. So we went there, educated people, and so when you do these field works, you know when the program director asks you, you know how to translate that in front of them, and also yeah. So that's about it, and just to everyone, have good conversation skills. Start practicing from now on. Start like put a camera in front of you, don't be shy, record yourself, see yourself after the recording, have a good English, because the way you translate, because there would be questions in interview that would be different, that would be like out of the box question that you're not even prepared for, but you have to be really good at it. I'm just putting this point, it's not related. I hope the answer is the question that Abu Bakr asked is answered. So that's about it. I think just think out of the box and do what you can. Even any quality improvement projects that you can do in hospital, like for example, uh, you did some hand sanitizer campaign in your hospital, you did mask campaign or anything, and the impact that you created with that. So or either you can just convince, go visit the health people in political, you talk to them that okay, we need these fundings. For example, people who are addicted to drugs, the Hak Awaz, that's a good place to start. I mean, you could just write it in your CV that we have this thing called for drug addicted people who needs help, and I'm there for them, and I was there for them, and I work with them. You can work with orphanages. So there are many ideas. It's all about, as I said, think out of the box, hammer the things that you want to hammer.
Yeah. Otherwise, like,
Next question.
we have to try to keep it a little brief, so we can kind of take multiple
Okay.
questions, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay. I wish we had more time, honestly. I'm enjoying.
I too wish we had more time. I mean, but like for now, we just
All
have
right.
to stick to it. Were you a topper or every student in medical college life?
Backbencher, average student, low on attendance. What else? Just a literary society, very underdog. Uh, I mean, I don't know, not like the perfect guy, perfect student. No, never, never.
Yeah. Ziaul Abrar is asking how many publications you had when you were applying for match.
I had 4 posters and 4 publications.
Hmm. Okay. All right. And then this person is asking, sir, what about joining Red Crescent or any other volunteer camp like that camp, etc.? Will it boost our CV?
Yes. See,
I
the thing is, the reason. Uh-huh. The reason is, short answer is 80% would be community programs, 20% would be university programs. As an IMG, your maximum chance is on getting into a community program. So you have to tailor the CV to the community.
Yeah. Also,
That's why.
if you can take 1 minute to just quickly uh, guide students about the electives and observerships. How do you get them? Or I think that would get a little
Yeah,
too extended. I think we should just keep it for some other session.
extended, but for me it was very different. It was like, honestly, luck. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. Like, Cleveland one, it was already pre-booked. Unfortunately, one of the junior uh, like missed out on that because of financial reason. I got the spot, but you have to book the Cleveland rotation for like 9 months before, or even a year if possible, with Dr. Asadur Rahman. Just letting all you guys know. Apart from that, like the other ones as well, it was sheer luck.
Hmm. Okay, Salman is asking something, I think.
Yes, please.
Assalamualaikum, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Wes. It was really an insightful talk. And I missed the intro part. So before starting the session, I just went through your LinkedIn handle and found that you were into Cleveland Clinic, right? Which is, I guess, one of the most prestigious and enormous hospitals in the country. So my question is that how do you manage your routines over there, and then after getting the match, so how do you process with getting the NPI, and then later on becoming able to work individually and independently from there? And you can say start your own clinic or hospitals?
Yes, for Cleveland, I was for 1 month of rotation only because I'm matched at USA Health in the Alabama right now. But I would say about the NPI, they will guide you through the process. The program coordinators, that's something after the match. And about the schedule, I would say, I mean, it's I'm too early. It's just 3 weeks right now, but I think it's fair. It's fair than Pakistan. It's not as crazy as Pakistan. We don't have 24 hours shift at least, so that's a good plus point. And in clinics, their ambulatory rotations are easy. For example, like 5 days, 2 days off, so it's good.
I understand. Dr. Owais, what is, we have to keep it short. We have 3 minutes. I'd like to take the end of the conversation. Tell, is there a specific quote that you live by? Because we always have a quote that we live by. Is there a specific quote that you have?
It's my mother's. Dunya pa akal na chalegi.
Yeah, and I think
It's like
you can take this in multiple perspectives if you want.
it's like life does not work in the things that you want to, and it's like in any circumstance the life throws at you, the akal will say, oh, this thing, anxiety, this, but it's your heart that says, no, I don't know, I trust my God that it will happen somehow,
Yes, I
you know
understand.
and is the last thing that I would say. It's an example that I want everyone to get it in their brain. For example, there is a radio FM 102.FM. If you tune, you do not listen it to normally, but when you tune in the radio to that frequency, then you listen it. That's
Yes,
how the universe works. That if you tune good frequency to it, good things will come.
yeah,
If you are constantly sending anxiety, depression, and things like these, bad things will come. I live by this, principle in my life. That at least the least I can do in bad situation is like, okay. And it's Quran as well, Surah Ibrahim, ayat number 7 to 8. That if you show me gratitude, I will give you more.
beautiful,
For sure, I will give you more.
beautiful. Last question that we have to end the session with is that if if you had to write your autobiography, what would be the title? What would the title be? Back
Mm.
venture, back venture. I believe, or is there a
I
better
mean,
title?
I that would be like, I don't know, the underdog.
The underdog. We can make a movie
There we
about
go.
that. I think that's it for
Yeah,
the session. Dr. Raves, thank you so much for taking out time.
yeah.
It was lovely talking to you. I hope a lot of people
My
benefited from
pleasure.
this. Thank you so much for taking
My
out
pleasure.
time. And I look forward to
Thank
have
you.
more conversations with you, inshallah, in future.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you so much for everyone here, for listening and coming in here, joining us. I wish you all the best on your journey, and I will try to get on TikTok with you guys, so I can just answer more questions, more detail. But we will see about that. I will share the link with Azam. You can follow that
Yes,
as well with time, so that we become more consistent in that department with each other. But anyhow,
inshallah,
best of luck. Stay positive. Stay good. Keep believing that it will happen eventually, somehow or another way.
inshallah. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Allah
you so
Hafiz.
much.
Allah Hafiz,
Allah
everyone. Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz. Allah Hafiz. Allah
Allah.
Hafiz.